22nd, 2023, Waukegan Public School Board of Education special meeting. If I can have a roll call, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Present.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Here.
Mr. McBride.
Here.
Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Hannah. Ms. Leguizamo. President Ewing.
Here, we do have a quorum, so we have 4 do no board members. Leguizamo, Ms. Hannah are out, and then Ms. Gonzalez is out of the state. So they did let me know that they would not be able to attend. With that, we have exceptions. The board previously met under exception C1, C10, C21, and C11. With that, I'd like a motion to go back into open session.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Wozniak. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We are now back in open session. Pastor Solar, if you would be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. So with that, we are at the President's Report. My President's Report is just thank you. I know we have 2 board members, Ms. Wozniak and Ms. Leguizamo, who will be concluding their time on the board. If I'm not mistaken, Ms. Wozniak has given, is it 6 years? I think
Almost
so.
7.
Yeah, almost 7 years. As she came on as an appointment, ran for re-election, and has served, and so we appreciate her service. Ms. Leguizamo. As we know, she may not be on this dais, but she will still remain active in our community. She is one of the board members that was instrumental in our Swim Smart program, in making sure that all of our second graders,
Oh, me? Yes.
yes,
All second graders.
all
yeah.
second graders, as a partnership with the Parks Foundation and Waukegan Public Schools, that all second graders get a water safety training through our amazing park district, as well as countless other things that she has brought to the board. So I thank her for her service. Ms. Leguizamo came in always asking tremendous questions, was a very strong partner for our JRTC, and started the Valentine's, or helped initiate the Valentine's for Vets program, which provided thousands of Valentine's Day cards to our service members. So we thank them both for their service. Next up, we have our student board member report. He did let me know that due to school, he would not be able to make it. He did provide a report, though, didn't he? You want me to read it? Go for it. Hello, everyone. I hope we are doing well this evening. This is my 6th student board member report. That's Ms. Hinojosa. For this meeting, this report will come in the form of a written statement, as he's going to the JRTC drill team to all service national competition in Daytona, Florida for the following week. He's excited about that. I also want to comment on the special nature of this meeting and the next one tomorrow. This meeting will be sine die, if I say that correctly, of our current Board of Education and our farewell of our 2 amazing board members, Ms. Callahan Wozniak and Ms. Leguizamo. I wish to speak on behalf of the whole student population and say that we deeply appreciate the time and personal sacrifice you 2 have put into this very important position. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and be rest assured that this district is in the right hands. I also want to wish congratulations to Ms. Lindsay and Ms. Fabian on being the next 2 board members of the Board of Education. It will be a pleasure to work with you both this term. In all, I wish everyone a pleasant day and successful board meeting today and tomorrow. We'll see you all next board meeting with a full report of the state of the student. In solidarity, Victor Hinojosa, student board member. So we thank Victor for his statement and wish them luck. Next up is our Spotlight in 60.
item here at our job fair that Mr. McMillan, one of our high school counselors, put together today. We are so grateful for this event because our students have the opportunity to look at many different careers and fields of opportunities of employment after graduation. And some of these fields do not require college. Though we thrive to send everyone to college, that just may not be their career path. And we're just hoping to open as many doors as we can. And I am so grateful that our students had the opportunity to visit this wonderful experience here in District 6.
So I've been here a couple periods, and not gonna lie, it's been helping me out a lot because I can see a lot of big opportunities that anybody could get in the school, and I feel like it's a really good help for us because there are people like me that don't know where to start anything, and I feel like this really helped me look into more things and open up my mind and know more about what we could do over here in Waukegan.
If you like me, you play sports. Let's say you get hurt, you can have a backup plan. And then you just get an idea of what you want to do because next year you're a senior. So you got to make sure you're ready for what you're going to do.
There was one table I visited for the referee association. I might do because I play sports, so I thought that was interesting.
I learned a lot from this experience, going around, learning about different jobs. This year there's more booths than last year and more opportunities.
As a senior, I do expect other students to come in so they could get more information about the stuff that's out there and in the new world, Like, they're gonna need more experience and this could be their opportunity.
I think this was important because as a Waukegan student, sometimes there's so many kids that you don't know all the advantages you have. So I think when Mr. McMillan first told me about it, I was like, I think that's super cool because as a student, I thought that the only option was college. And now going around all these booths and them telling me about tech and trade and like showing that there's other options and making money and having a future in these things, I think that offers a lot of variety for many kids that don't know what they want to do in the future. And so with most of my peers, I think they all love the opportunity to learn about these opportunities.
I appreciate the administration allowing me to do this. I really like working with our students. I like the Waukegan population, and every one of these vendors, representatives offer opportunities that allow the person to grow, to have a successful career. It's not fast food. There's no retail like shopping malls. You bring all these vendors in here. These are just opportunities that they have to explore. The representatives have been amazing. It's great talking to them because they're all optimistic, upbeat, positive, and they appreciate what we're trying to do for the students.
So we have a great apprenticeship program and other things. So it's been great to introduce ourselves and just really talk to them.
I'm glad to see all these young people come out here and show some interest in the trades. I wasn't a college guy myself, so I'm glad to pass on what I know and hopefully help some of these youngsters out and go down the right path.
But, I grew up in Waukegan, so I definitely love to come back and be able to see all the students, and a lot of them have been real attentive, asking a lot of questions. So it's been a real treat to see. If I had the information that we are trying to give these kids today when I was their age, I can assure you that I probably would have learned a trade.
I'm just going to share a few things. I did enjoy putting that together, and we have some great kids, and I put this together because I know a lot of them. They're hands-on learners. It's been a rough 4 years for them. I did it mostly where they can get apprenticeships, union type jobs where they can make a real nice wage, starting with $7 an hour going to their 401k at 18 years of age. I'd like to incorporate. I want it to be bigger, better. I want to somehow incorporate the 9th and 10th graders. The businesses want us to attend their facilities and kind of encompass the students where they're at. I've got a lot of, excuse me, a lot of things that I want to do moving forward. But it's we had the picture wasn't up there. We had a pig. Lewis Produce donated a pig. I wanted a meat cutter there for butcher industry, which was really cool. It didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I was bringing it in from all angles. And so many of the Waukegan communities, the marinas and Sterigenics, we've got some great things in our backyard that we can the co-op programs. If we put the two 2 years of junior, senior year where they can get some type of certification with the tech campus, and then they do that in the morning. They take, especially with what we're doing with credits, and then they can go in the afternoon and apply what they're learning at the tech campus to a job. You know, we're not doing Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not pushing that on them. So if you see where I'm going with that, and then now they have 2 years. We got to do that with the 10th graders though, right? We get them as 11th graders, and then they're only getting the 1 year certificate. That's just an example. So if we can hammer home the 10th graders and get 2 years that they start at Tech Campus, that's just an example. I'm big on the golf courses. I can go on a rabbit's trail, trust me, once I get, I get excited about this, but the golf courses are ideal, just great opportunities for our students. We have an Evans Scholar winner this year, Angel Servin, but there's the networking with these jobs. Even if you don't get that scholarship, you're rubbing elbows with successful business people, manufacturers, that they can network with those people. And it was a lot of fun. So I don't want to get too long-winded, but I appreciate you guys recognizing the event. And hopefully, yeah, it was a good day for Waukegan students.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you for Spotlighting 60 and for everyone, you know, had a hand. There's a ton of events going on at this time of year, but we want to make sure, earlier this year we talked about opportunities for joy, making sure our students have exposure. So our counselors, our different departments that are doing these different things. I know I was able to go to Decision Day yesterday. Is amazing with our post-secondary department and a lot of the events that are going on. So we appreciate that, and it's about exposure. So thank you, and we appreciate what you did. Next up, we have approval of minutes. There are a bunch of minutes here. This will complete all of the minutes that do need to be approved from our open session. So we are going to take items, well, I'm going to ask, unless anybody is opposed, that we take items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, J, K, and M. Oh, I'm sorry, and L as one action.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments, questions, corrections to any of the minutes? All in favor, approve with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Minutes are approved. We are now going back to item H. So it is item 8H, approval of the minutes of the open session board meeting for February 28, 2023. Mr. McBride was not present. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We have 3 ayes, no nays, so 1 pass. 3 ayes, 1 pass. We then have item M. 8M, which is April 20th, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Riddle was not present.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak.
Jeff.
Second for Mr. McBride. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. So we have 1 pass, which is Mr. Riddle. All right, now is our opportunity for public comment. As a reminder, each speaker gets 3 minutes. When I call your name, please come up to the microphone. I'm going to call multiple names just so we can get a line going in order to expedite the process. If you need translation services will be provided to you, and you will get an additional 3 minutes for a total of 6 to allow for translation. We do want to remind everyone about civility, as well as making sure that we refrain from mentioning student and staff names in your remarks. First name is Christine Linsing, second name is Mark Schinkman, third name is Ben Grimes, and fourth name is Ray Vukovic, if you all will come in that order. Ms. Lindsay, whenever you start speaking, your time will begin.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Ms. Fulton, and your team. Decision Day was amazing. It was a great time. Your student designed this great shirt, and it's honestly one of my favorites. I did want to come to the podium to talk about the personnel items with replacements earning more than those leaving, yet are coming in with no experience, and if the board was aware of these discrepancies. But unfortunately, something happened today that just called this message to action. The lack of communication in this district, both on a macro and micro level, are beyond frustrating. Oftentimes, we want to blame disengaged parents and staff when even the most involved individuals fall victim. This is ridiculous. Do you know what we can accomplish when we have effective communication? First, let's be clear what that looks like. Effective communication is when we share information, ideas, or thoughts in a way that is clearly understood by the intended audience in a variety of ways, so verbal and written. It's accurate, complete, and clear. It takes into account the audience's needs and adjusts the message to fit their level of understanding and communication preferences. Effective communication is essential for building relationships, managing conflicts, making decisions, and achieving goals in both personal and professional settings. When we have it, we're going to see better relationships among staff and community, increased collaboration, and encouraging a sense of unity and teamwork. Individuals feel heard, valued, and understood, leading to stronger relationships and better cooperation. Everyone's on the same page, avoiding misunderstandings, reducing conflicts, and ensuring that everyone works toward the same goal. It builds trust and credibility when we are clear, honest, and transparent. We trust and respect one another. When we don't have it, we see these issues: lack of transparency, poor listening skills, excluding voices. There's silos and lack of collaboration, inconsistent messaging, failure to communicate expectations, lack of follow-up. When we do have it, it can look like clearly defining roles and responsibilities, having regular check-ins, encouraging feedback. Everyone is engaged. It focuses on transparency. I would say get it together. But this board will adjourn this evening, and tomorrow brings a new board. In the spirit of effective communication and transparency, I expect that tomorrow's reorganization meeting that will swear in new board members and elect new board leadership will include time for the new board to both make comments and ask questions on those nominated for board leadership. This is an expectation. We must start off on the right foot, and that begins with clear communication. Waukegan deserves it. Pay attention.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. Whenever you start speaking, Mr. Schinkton.
Good evening. I was hoping that I could have spoke to this issue probably a couple of weeks ago. There was going to be a forum for the PE waiver for the elementary schools. So this is actually then the fourth time I will be speaking to the same item or agenda. And looking at the rationale that has been put down, and it's been the same rationale for the other years, which when it first started obviously was a different administration and different board members. So I'll leave the first bullet point alone. I'm not going to deal with that. But the other three rationales are reasonings for why we cannot have PE on a daily basis. So if the Illinois board approves this waiver, that'll be an additional 5 years. So for 14 years in this district, there will have not been daily PE. So I ask, I'm looking at it as a different point and putting it to the administration and the board members who will be voting on it. From 2014, when we had the first waiver, we identified what some of these issues were. Like, for instance, cafeterias. The gymnasiums are used as cafeterias, so we don't have the space. I haven't seen any corrective action to remedy this or the other bullet points. So 14 years have gone by and we haven't changed anything. Lengthening the school day is also one. How many teacher contracts over those 14 years have been negotiated and that hadn't been put in because, so are you really voting for a waiver or is it a policy? Because after almost 2 decades, it's more of a policy than a waiver.
Thank you, Mr. Shinkton. Whenever you start talking, Mr. Grimes.
Good evening, everyone. My first thought for the longest times was to embarrass Charlotte Callahan Wozniak, who is a treasured member of our school board foundation. I just happened to be the president because nobody else wanted it. And I'm only teasing. But I've known her mom and dad since I had my place. I like the big long wines, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to miss you. Hopefully you're going to still stay on the board. That being said, Teacher Appreciation Week. I get around Brookside all the time because the need is the greatest there. And I want to read a little note from my experience today. I go to a lot of teachers. They come to me for help, and I'm an old dude, so I can, my wife is a retired principal, my late wife. My daughter teaches. Okay, this is from Mark Abbott, one of our math teachers. Hey, Ben, thanks for stopping in today and recognizing me. It means a lot to have your hard work recognized. I love that the past week I've had multiple conversations about higher expectations and more meaningful connections with our students. This will have been my 6th year in teaching at Waukegan High School, Brookside, and every year brings new wonders and challenges. My phone number is, if you ever need to reach me. I graduated Northeastern Illinois University in 2015 and worked in Fox Lake, Illinois as a sub, then a one-on-one paraprofessional with a student with autism who was prone to violent outbursts for a little over a year until I got the job here at Brookside. I have an anxiety disorder, which sometimes leads to panic attacks. I like to speak to kids about their depression and anxiety. I share my own experiences and let them know that they can always speak to me if they are ever anxious or depressed because I can empathize with them. I appreciate all you are doing for our school and I'm ready to help in any way possible. Stop by anytime. You are always welcome in my classroom. Sincerely, Mark Abbott. And we have a substitute principal over at Brookside, Mr. Hernandez. He's an awesome young man. I can say young man because I'm older than him. He comes in and he's visible, like Miss Billy Greer used to be. We had no safety. He does all these things. And we're going to start out next year, the first day, with all expectations, high expectations. All of our kids can excel. All of our kids can learn. They're going to rise to the level we choose. So with that being said, I go around and speak to a lot of teachers, and it's not just because I'm black or he has some issues with some black students. It's because we care, and we move around. I come over to Washington. That's where I would spend a lot of. Thank you, and we're going to have a great year next school year.
Thank you, Mr. Grimes, and I do want to remind speakers to refrain from mentioning staff names. Mr. Vukovic, your time will begin whenever you start speaking.
Hi. Tonight, the Board of Education will consider the dismissal of a tenured teacher based on the recommendation of the superintendent and other administrators. This happens when an employee allegedly doesn't perform to an acceptable level. You will also consider Amendment number 13 to the superintendent's performance-based agreement. This agreement indicates that the superintendent's satisfactory or better performance for the 2022-23 school year is recognized by the Board of Education for the record. According to the dictionary, the definition of satisfactory is fulfilling expectations or needs, acceptable, though not outstanding or perfect. Tonight you have approved 13 sets of board minutes from going back to September 13th, 2021. The majority of them were late, as much as 18 months late, according to Illinois law. As I have brought to your attention numerous times in the past 12 plus months, the superintendent is also the Board of Education secretary. She is responsible for the untimely minutes that were just approved tonight. Do you really consider this satisfactory? How many times has she told you don't worry about it? Well, we know she didn't worry about it. You'll give the superintendent a satisfactory rating, even though part of her job was done in an untimely manner in violation of state law. Then you will take her recommendation to dismiss a tenured employee. Something's not quite right there. Tonight, you have a very lengthy agenda. However, I noticed that nowhere on this agenda is the renewal of paper tutoring. This matter was discussed at both the March and April Student Achievement meeting and was supposed to be on the next board meeting. Well, there was supposed to be one last week, then there was supposed to be another one last week. Now this is the one from then. You know, I just hope that this is discussed soon and dealt with. I hope that this isn't a matter that if you drag it out long enough, there's some kind of a clause in the contract that it automatically renews, because that is a poor, poor contract, and you all should be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vukovic. Next four names in order are Janice Howe, Marie Bryant, and then first name Helen, second name Danella. Fourth name, I apologize. So in that order, Janice, Marie, Helen, and Danella.
This is my time.
All right, Ms. Hay, your time will begin whenever you start speaking.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, board members. I'm back again. Yes, this is my father. What is in my DNA is golfing. What is not in my DNA is multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma is not in any one of us.
Apologies. Can we pause the clock? And then if you can, Ms. Hay, please use the microphone for those that are participating online and in the room.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
What is not in our DNA is multiple myeloma. So, we're having our first annual golf outing, and we're asking you to support multiple myeloma research funding. As you can see, my dad, many years I grew up around golf and many different people of golfers. And so it is very important that use that as a platform for research funding for multiple myeloma. Of course, I'm a patient of multiple myeloma, and because of the research findings, I was able to get to this point. I probably should have been deceased a long time ago, but now they are able to do medication that is easily acceptable, and I can get up and get right back to work the next day. Thursday, I have a treatment. It is not curable, but it's treatable. So I go in Thursday, they give me a shot, and I get back to work on Friday. So I'm asking for your support. When you come out, everyone, you will get a sign with your group name. I have flyers I will give to you, and you will put your name and your company, anyone. We're just asking everyone to come out, golfers, non-golfers, come out and let myeloma fly. I met a gentleman at a council meeting, and a doctor, and he walked up to me after I presented, and he said that his wife went to the doctor just for a regular checkup, and when they found out she had multiple myeloma, and it was early, so they were able to detect it right away. people don't know about this. So we're trying to get it out to our community that if you're having back pains, whatever it is, you have to go further than just say, oh, I'm just, could be just a headache or something. Please, we need your support. I'm very nervous, excuse me. So I have the flyers. It's going to tell you how to go about participating and the different tiers that we have. And we're going to have a fun day. Non-golfers, just support multiple myeloma research funding. I'm asking everyone in our district, all the schools, and also permission to distribute this throughout the schools in the area.
Thank you, Ms. Hay.
Thank you.
Ms. Bryant.
Greetings to the board. I'm a little hoarse tonight, but first I want to say greetings to everybody. Thank you to Superintendent. She's looking into some things I asked her, but I also want to bring this to your attention. It's just short. We live in a moment when the dream of equal opportunity is within reach. That was a quote Barack Obama said. Will that equal opportunity be reached in our district? Is it really attainable for those who have worked hard, gained experience, and even had educational background to match it? How many people will be passed over for positions that are well qualified for alleged nepotism, friends of friends, or not what you know, but who you know, or texts sent to you to get employment? Just recently, which is this week, there was a sub. The sub received a notice after 11 o'clock p.m. on Sunday night to work. The sub was sent a text telling her what she was hired for in the position. The sub went to the school. The principal didn't know who she was, but the text that the sub was sent told her, and I quote, I inform blank in HR you are working in the position. Is this the correct hiring process? And this sub is still unsure about her pay. So what are we going to do about the employment? Is there a way that we can revamp the hiring process? Is there a way that we can look over those who are trying to hire people through a process that is not right within our district? We have laws. We have procedures, and there are procedures that need to be taken seriously. And there are so many things that are happening that is not right. And I'm district strong, Waukegan district strong. And I always say I'm Waukegan strong with the necessary corrections. There are many necessary corrections that need to be made within our hiring process. And I know we can do better. We can investigate things that are going on, but we still need to make change. Please, look into these different matters. I have texts, I have screenshots of a text. And the lady's still worried about her pay. And she quit and doesn't know if she's going to get paid. But I just want to bring that to your attention tonight. Thank you.
All right, next name is Helen. And Miss Helen, if you will state your last name for the record.
It's Athanasopoulos.
Thank you. And whenever you start speaking, your time will begin. If we could reset our time.
My name is Helen, and I'm a teacher from John R. Lewis Middle School. When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. I'm here to ask for help from the school board. I have been harassed at John R. Lewis Middle School. Since the start of the pandemic, administrators and staff members have been harassing me constantly. I have been a Waukegan teacher for 18 years at John R. Lewis Middle School. I have been teaching in the GAP program for 17 years. I have been harassed at John R. Lewis Middle School. I'm here to ask for help from the school board. I have knocked on many doors in this district asking for help before coming here tonight. It takes a lot of courage to come up here as an employee in this district. I have knocked on the doors of both area superintendents, associate superintendent of HR, and the superintendent, and the union. And nobody's helping, nobody's listening. I'm asking the school board for help. And tonight, I see some of my former parents and current parents in this district. They know who I am as a person and as a teacher. I care about the students in this district. And some of the things I've seen for the last 18 years, there have been some positive things happening. But what's happening to me is not right. This is why I'm here tonight. So the school board is aware of it, the current school board, and also the incoming school board and how it's being reorganized. And I would like to thank the lady that was here before me. Thank you. Thank you for all of you who were speaking before here in front of this school board. It takes a lot of courage to come up here. We're here for the kids. We're here for the parents. The kids need to get to the place where they need to be. Honestly, we're adults. It really takes a lot of courage to come up here, especially as an employee of the district. I've had enough. Constantly coming into my room, harassing, and not just the administrators, other staff members. I really thought I'd be over 3 minutes, but I've made it under 3 minutes. And thank you to the parents and to the staff of Waukegan for doing your job.
Thank you, Ms. Helen. And Ms. Danella, if you state your last name for the record.
Villarreal.
And whenever you start speaking, your time will begin.
Fear, intimidation, and retaliation. Evidence. And it is against the law. And you need to quit turning my mic down because I'll just get louder. This school feels like hell in a building. People fight just to fight. People in jail have better food than us. Half the school is failing and nobody but the teacher helped the kids to pass them. The principal does not talk to the kids who skip class, smoke in the bathrooms, people who fight. She turns her back on things. She says that everything is okay. That's just part of it. What I see in this school is failure. You have failed at everything you pass students. You don't show us, and you have failed to keep us safe. Kids smoke, fight, have sex all over the school, and you just turn around and say nothing happened, and you have favorites, and there is corruption, and you just sit there doing nothing. I feel more safe in Ukraine, and just fix it. It's not hard. This school should have better rules because the kids are skipping and having so many fights. They should have good food. They always lock the bathroom because they are kids that smoke. And the good kids want to go to the bathroom, and we can't because they're smoking. And why do we have security if they still are smoking and doing drugs in school? It's just a waste of time. We are always late to class, always late to class. They should clean the school because we have mice. And the teachers are good. No teacher should be removed from the school or go to another school. What I don't like about the school is the fights every day. We're on lockdown almost every day, and it's very hard to get a hold of the school, and you can even call the school. You can't even call the school. The school lunches suck. The food is nasty. And how do the bad kids get good grades when they're skipping? And how do bad kids get paras? It's funny how the principal posts videos and thinks the school is all peaches and creams when it's not. The school sucks. And we want to go to school. It's horrible. Would you want to go to this school or a better one? Teachers and the subs yelling at the students for no reason and disrespect. When we have lockdown, the school says nothing of what happened. I just can't even. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. These are the values we are taught as soldiers. Some of you who are going around boasting about your military background seem to have forgotten those values. Your attempt to create a popular public opinion of you is a fail when you do not hold the values and you are not morally, ethically in your practices. You are the opposite when you purposely deny accommodations and exclude people based on their color. Your whole hiring practices are garbage. You denied people accommodations. It's against the law.
Thank you, Ms. Villarreal. Next four names in order are Kashana Hanna, Randy Sabecki, Luz Granda, and Clyde McLemore. So again, Kashana Hanna, Randy Sabecki, Luz Granda, and Clyde McLemore. Whenever you start speaking, your time will begin, Ms. Hanna.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm Kershana Hanna coming to say thank you to the board members that are leaving. Thank you for your service. This is not an easy job. Liked, unliked, voices heard, not heard. It's not an easy job. So thank you for your service. I'm going to start by saying thank you to the anonymous supporters from the school district that supported me in my campaign to run. I was told by somebody that sometimes the win isn't in the seat, but it's in the voice and the words. The words were spoken, the concerns were brought, and they can't be taken away. So when I'm standing here before you guys as the board and the upcoming board, I'm asking you guys to listen to what the STARS campaign had. The issues that we brought forward, the issues with teachers and staff that they face daily, the safety issues, the mistreatment, the retaliation, HR issues, lack of accountability, unfair pay, and the list could go on, but we'll stop there. We took an interest in the concern of the low academic performance, hiring adequate staff, teachers, and teacher retention. I'm asking you guys to take a look at this stuff and address it. We also talked about the voices of the community and our voices being heard, because we're not sitting on the podium or behind the board, the seat up there, that our voices are important and what we say does matter. And we're asking you, well, I'm standing here demanding that you guys take this seriously and make the appropriate changes to make the district better. Now on to something else as far as the students are concerned. It was brought to my attention with the current prom that is being planned and that the students will take advantage of. It is the responsibility of the of the schools to provide optimal high school experiences. With that, we are limiting the students to what they can have with the number of prom tickets that are available and the cost of them. I've heard from multiple students that they weren't going to the prom because the tickets were so high and their parents didn't have the money and time to pay for them. And then there was an issue brought up to me with the tickets, that they were scalping the tickets for the students that didn't have the money. They were being sold for $100 initially from the schools, but students that bought them previously, there was a student that bought it for $200 because they didn't have the money in the adequate time. What did the school do to provide the students assistance for those that couldn't afford to pay to go to the prom? Don't limit the high school experience for the students.
Thank you, Ms. Hanna.
Good afternoon. So I have a question tonight under personnel. So we had a gentleman that was in charge of, was in the face position as a facilitator, and he was in that position for 3 years. And I'd just like to know how come he made $2,755.71 more or less than who we're going to put in that position today. So why does this person get $2,700 pay raise to take that same position, and this gentleman was in that position for 3 years? Second question, we're short teachers, and nothing against the people that are going in these positions. Why do we keep pulling teachers out of the classroom to fill these positions at Lincoln Center? Like to know. When we have staff members, we say we're equal opportunity employer, but we have staff members that have applied for that position multiple times, 20 plus years in the district, and has never even got an interview. We should be interviewing everybody that applies for these positions. If they're qualified, they should be interviewed. Let's stop picking and choosing and putting who we want in these positions. Let's really go by the law and let's be an equal opportunity employer. Stop the favoritism. Second, a couple months ago I brought up about we're in violation of the Illinois School Code. All of our classrooms are supposed to lock from the inside of the classroom. And there are a lot of buildings in our district where those locks do not. They lock from the outside of the classroom. And they're supposed to lock from the inside. Same thing, when you redo a roof, it's an OSHA violation. You have to barricade it off so someone don't fall off the roof. Go to Washington campus. Why is our third floor windows, second floor windows, all the way open? That is another OSHA violation. Bathrooms being locked is against the health department code. Why are we locking bathrooms? Do we lock the bathrooms here at Lincoln Center? No, we don't. It's getting ridiculous. How come we just make up our own rules and nobody else has to follow them and it's never said? How many times do we have to come up to this mic and say it? Nothing's ever done. We pick and choose what we want to say. Ms. Superintendent, I'm over here. You should be paying attention to the people at the mic. Everybody else is. Yeah. There's a lot of times you're not taking notes. Well, I still haven't got that. Those. Yeah. Well, and don't send me an email saying that I can sit down and have a meeting with you anytime and then deny that meeting. What's the point? Then you don't have an open door policy. Stop telling everyone you have an open door policy when you don't. Again, we've been in this district a long time.
Luz. Can we get 6 minutes on the clock to allow for translation, please? Sorry, Ms. Granda, whenever you're ready.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí.
Thank you for the opportunity to have me here.
Me da gusto ver a la señora, la vimos en el tiempo de que los estudiantes hicieron las máscaras.
And I'm grateful to see you here. We saw you during the time where the students made masks.
Al verla yo ahí a ella, eso habla de que ella está interesada en apoyar a los estudiantes y me da gusto. Gracias.
And when I saw you there, that shows me that you're interested to be there to support the students, and so I'm grateful for that.
Estoy aquí porque hoy tuve una junta con las principales de la escuela, la principal de la escuela y dos superintendentes y la maestra.
So I'm here today because I had a meeting with the principal of the school, the assistant principal, and a couple of teachers of the school.
No se aclararon todas mis dudas.
All of my concerns were not made clear, or they were not answered fully.
Fue por falta de tiempo.
And it was for a lack of time.
Pero estoy aquí porque no le voy a mandar un email a la asistente principal.
But I am here because I'm not going to send an email to the assistant principal.
Voy a evitar que me vuelvan a decir, como usted no hizo bien el email, pues yo no le contesté.
And I'm going to not have it happen again that they tell me that I didn't write the email correctly. So that's why we didn't respond to you.
Y eso lo sabe la superintendente.
And the superintendent knows this.
Cuando ella me dice a mí eso, yo me siento como una tonta.
And when they told me this, I felt dumb.
Y no nomás me lo dice a mí, se lo ha dicho a otros padres.
And they have not only said this to me, they have said this to other parents.
A mí me gustaría tener una principal que lejos de juzgarme nos ayude.
And I would like to have a principal that doesn't judge us, but that helps us.
Entonces, también quiero comentar que yo hice unas preguntas hoy.
I also wanted to comment that I made a couple of questions today.
Y yo quiero, por favor, que no se vaya a tomar represalia en contra de la maestra.
And I would like to note that
that there shouldn't be prejudice towards the teacher.
Porque si yo ya estoy oyendo aquí que la maestra la están acosando,
Because if I'm hearing here today that to this teacher they're already harassing her in the school.
algo que es cierto porque mi estudiante el año pasado me decía todo el tiempo están entrando personas al salón. Yo creo que hasta mi estudiante se sentía acosado de ver tanta gente entrando al salón.
Which is true because my student would even tell me that he would see people come in all the time to the classroom, so that he even felt harassed sometimes seeing the amount of people that were coming in.
Y sí, sí es cierto. También no solo la maestra se siente acosada.
And yes, it's true. It's not only the teacher that feels harassed.
También los padres nos sentimos acosados.
The parents also feel harassed.
Y también nos sentimos ignorados por esa escuela.
And we also feel ignored by that school.
Y yo le digo esto porque yo voy a la escuela y no me gusta que me digan, señora, usted está aquí todos los días en la escuela. Yo no sé si hay un problema, que yo vaya a la escuela todos los días o qué pasa.
And I say this because I don't like going to the school and being told, ma'am, you're here every day. Is there a problem that I'm here every day? Or what's the issue here?
Sí quiero darle las gracias a la señora superintendente encargada de la high school.
And I'd like to thank the area superintendent in charge of the school.
Esta señora, aunque no es encargada de la middle school, ella estuvo ahí, me dio el tiempo, me escuchó.
Sorry, I messed up in the first part, but although she isn't the area superintendent for that school, she was there and she gave me the time and listened to me.
Eso habla muy bien de que ella sí está interesada en escuchar las peticiones de los padres.
And this talks very well of her, since she is interested in listening to the petitions of the parents.
Y realmente me gustaría que así fueran los administradores de la escuela y así fueran los otros superintendentes encargados.
And I really wish that the other personnel and staff of the school would be like her, as well as the other area superintendents.
Así que por favor, ustedes díganle a las principales de la escuela que yo necesito más tiempo. Díganle al superintendente encargado que tengo más dudas y necesito más tiempo.
And so please tell the people in charge of these schools that I need more time, and tell the principal as well that I need more time to
Y
talk
no
to them.
necesito solamente sus 30 minutos que normalmente acostumbran ahí. Después de los 30 minutos ellos ya se están yendo.
And I don't need only 30 minutes, because after the 30 minutes they're used to just getting up and leaving.
Ya que yo estoy hablando de la educación de mi hijo.
Now that, especially when I'm talking about my child's education.
Y también por último voy a decir que la maestra que estuvo aquí es maestra de mis hijos y mis hijos siento que ella les enseña muy bien.
And finally, I'm going to say that the teacher who was here is one of the teachers of my kids, and that she teaches very well.
Ella es una buena maestra para mí
That she's a very good
y
teacher
para mis
for
hijos.
me and for my kids.
Y por favor, no me gusta que estén
Thank
diciendo
you,
que
Miss
los estén
Granda.
acosando, porque de por sí no tenemos maestros
Thank
y
you,
luego
Miss
los
Granda.
acosan.
I do apologize, but time is up. Thanks, Ms. Granda. Next name is Clyde McLemore.
Ain't been here in a while, but it seems like y'all having problems in human resources. I've been saying that since I've been here. But I'm not here to fight. School is ending for the year, and our children need something to do, so we can't allow our children to get lost in this summer with idle time. I don't like hearing when our children is hurting. I hate reading about a shooting that involves our children. Black Lives Matter is partnering with Family First on May 28th to take the children to the Chicago Sky Game in Chicago. We have been donated 300 tickets. Some of our children never seen a professional basketball game. The Chicago Sky won championship in 2022. This year, Colleen Cooper was named this year's captain of the team, so I am inviting everyone here to come out and bring your children. It will be Sunday, May 28th. Game start at 5 o'clock. Meet-up time will be 3:30 to 8 o'clock. Second, June 10th, from 12 to 4, Black Lives Matter Family First is doing a bowling family day. Every child that shows up will receive a gift. Also, we're having trophies for the best bowler and a trophy for who hit the most gutters. Right now, I'm trying to get the congressman, our school board president, the state reps to bowl a game with the youth. Both events is free, and nothing beats free. Also in June, the cookout in Zion that celebrates the Juneteenth, February 16th at the Zion Park District Amphitheater. Bring your grill, come out, enjoy some great music. This is celebrating our Juneteenth event. Juneteenth, so this date is Friday the 16th, and starts at 5 to 8, am I right? 5 to 8. And the dates are tentative for August. Black Lives Matter will be doing their third Black Business Expo to honor Black business by Black Business Month. So let's have a safe summer. And if you have any ideas, please contact me. I'd like to see if we can come up with some ideas to do for the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. Next name is Mr. Edwards, and the final name is Ms. Hernandez. So, Mr. Edwards, whenever you start speaking, your time will begin.
Good evening. I'm going to encourage this board to start paying a lot of attention to what goes out into this community. I came here tonight to speak about some issues, but unfortunately, I got distracted. And I know we're not supposed to use names, and I'm going to do my best not to do so. But the entity that was just mentioned to you guys, I have a community out there that has been wronged, that hasn't been paid. I have CBOs that have paid for 501c3s and they don't have them. You understand what I'm saying? And I encourage y'all, this Board of Education, before y'all start supporting things, to investigate, to talk to the people. I'm serious. Because I'm tired of the color. I'm tired of the D and the R, the Democratic and Republican. I'm tired of the selfishness. I'm tired of doing what's best for us instead of what's best for these babies and what's best for this community. Enough is enough. And I get told all the time when I speak out and I say something about an entity that's the same color as me, I'm wrong. But it's okay for me to stand up here and talk to a Caucasian any kind of way. It's okay. Well, it's not. Not for me. Everybody get it. Anybody. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying tonight is we hear harassment after harassment, assault after assault, violence after violence, but when I get up here and I scream on a mic, I'm violent. Y'all are violent. Y'all are violent because y'all are not addressing the needs of these people, the staff, the kids. We come up here every meeting. We cry, we plead, we ask. No corrective action is done. Nothing. Nothing. You have 2 security guards, KT and Mr. Coleman, they got suspended for 3 weeks. Disciplined for breaking rules that was put on the board agenda. But because our superintendent didn't have the support, it was taken off. And they disciplined them. But Amy O'Leary, Tasha London, went to Brookside. Tasha London worked at Lincoln Center. They went and got Martell Williams up out of his classroom, took him to an office and delivered him to the Waukegan Police Department. And we seems to forgot that. So, dear superintendent, ma'am, I'm asking you what you gonna do. You disciplined them 2 guys. What happens to those 2? When do we start picking and choosing who we discipline? I'm fit to be a needle in y'all backsides, and y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Final name is Ms. Hernandez.
Sorry that I'm late. I was at the volleyball game for senior night. My son is not a senior, but I go to the games, and a lot of those kids don't have their parents there because they're working or whatever
Ms.
the case may be.
Hernandez, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can we, Mr. White, and you just start right from where you were if you can? I
What was
apologize.
that?
Just start. They didn't start your time.
Oh. Okay. So anyways, there are several issues that we need to deal with. The district is aware of the issues. The superintendent is aware of the issues. The issues don't get handled. So as a protester, I usually would be in the streets and all of this, but I realize that that also doesn't happen, and then you become a target for the police to harass you and things like that. So where are we and what can we do? I really don't know. I don't have a solution, but what I personally do is I send emails, and I keep on emailing and asking more questions and getting more guilt and more guilt and more guilt. And everything is done in this district to the students on purpose, with a purpose. Nobody cares. I've tried to address it with the police. The police say that it's not their jurisdiction because what needs to happen is somebody from within the building needs to make a referral to an outside jurisdiction. So therefore, any employee of this district can do any damn thing to anybody, and it doesn't matter unless they decide that they want to make it matter. So just like Ray Ray was talking about, when we need accountability across the line, the HR, everybody's been talking about that. Okay, the HR, first of all, the schools should not be hiring their own people. HR is supposedly qualified and knowledgeable of the laws and the procedures that are supposed to happen when you're doing a hiring process. So if you're bypassing the HR department, then you're purposely bypassing that process, but they don't care about that because they also purposely bypass the process by hiring third-party entities to bypass the process and come in our schools without getting background checks, without having education, without probably even showing up to actually teach the classes half the time. But nobody cares because that's how we do things apparently here with this administration. I'm hoping that tomorrow when the new people get sworn in, that they come to a realization of how things are supposed to be, that the superintendent gets blessed by God or whatever to come to the realization of what is wrong and what is right. And if you choose to constantly do wrong, that's your karma. It's your karma that you're putting out in the universe. For what? For what? Because somebody else is telling you to do that to the kids? Somebody's telling you to do that to your staff? Say no. When is it time to stand up?
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. This concludes public comment. We thank all of those who did come out. I will ask that we have follow-up with the individuals who came up. Superintendent. No. All right, next up is our consent agenda under academics. These items should have been previously discussed and are considered non-controversial. Any board member can request that any other item be held over for any reason or voted on separately. I'm sorry. If any board member would like any item voted on separately, please let me know at this time. Seeing as there are no requests, I'm going to ask for approval of items 10A through N. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riddle. Any comments or questions on the motion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride. Yes. President Ewing.
Yes. Items approved, motion carries. But read those into the record. And then I'm going to ask us to go back up. I think I skipped something based on the screen. So item 10A, approval of WHS biology text book adoption. B, approval of DataViz certification program participation. C, approval of International Society for Technology and Education professional development for D60 WIN trainers. Approval of Renew Elevate K-12 for 23-24. Approval of Whittier International Baccalaureate professional development request. F, approval of Advanced Placement Summer Professional Development. G, approval of Ron Clark Academy for North. H, approval of Association for Middle Level Education Conference. Approval of International. I, approval of International Baccalaureate Leading and Managing Teams Workshop. J, approval of Carnegie Learning Math Grades 6 and 7. K, approval of AP Annual National Conference. L, restorative approval. Retroactive approval for AP Spanish Literature and Cultural Professional Development. M, approval of WHS Athletics Cooperative Proposal. And N, approval of renewal of yearly Microsoft Office licensing. Can we scroll up, Mr. White? Backwards, other way. Yeah.
What do you think you missed?
The hearing for the.
It's not there.
Yeah, it's not there. No, it's not on the consent. I got you. So let's go down to 11, consent agenda for operations. We have items 11A through Q, same as before. These are operations items. Any board member would like to request any of these letters voted on separately? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve items 11A through Q.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riddle. Any comments or questions on the motion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Item approved, motion carries. We have 11A, approval of renewal for PACE, Regional Transportation Authority Agreement for 23-24. B, approval of Safeway Transportation Contract Extension for 23-24. C, ratification of payment for installation of new kitchen equipment at Waukegan High School Brookside campus. D, approval of board resolution annual waiver and facilities use fees for nonprofits. E, approval of WHS Brookside campus roof and replacement proposal. F, approval of purchase of Open Gates security system. G, approval to attend 2023 MCL National Convening. H, attendance of 2023 National School Safety Conference. I, approval of Andrew Cook electronic sign purchase. J, approval of purchase of Operation Fleet vehicles. K, approval of Clark Elementary School teaching staff and common space furniture. L, approval of Morgan HR Inc. contract amendment payments. M, approval of WHS Washington Campus outdoor classroom project. N, approval of bids for FY23 domestic water heater replacement at Brookside. O, approval of floor finish and equipment for summer 2023. P, approval of bids for paving summer 2023. Schools are there listed. Q, approval of payment for Lincoln Center steam heat condensation pipe repair. All right, purchases and contracts. We are at item 12A, approval of parking lease agreement for 216 Madison Street.
It is the recommendation that the Board of Education authorize the superintendent to approve the parking lease with Mon Ami Realty for the parking garage located at 216 West Madison Street, Waukegan, Illinois 60085. The proposal total is $20,424 per year for a maximum of 5 years.
Mr. Riddle, I make a motion that we approve this as read by the superintendent.
So moved. Or second.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? I will just like to say thank you. I know there were questions about when the contract was supposed to start, and with us being delayed in getting all of the permitting and approvals and the request in order to delay when we actually had to expend these funds, that I wanted to thank the administration. Seeing as there are no other questions or comments, roll call.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We are now at item 12B, approval for contract award Illinois Central School Bus Company 23-24, 24-25, and 25-26.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education authorize the superintendent to accept the lowest responsible and responsive bid from Illinois Central School Bus Company for a 3-year contract at a projected total value of $29,351,986.32.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak,
Second.
second by Mr. Riddle. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Just a quick comment, Board President, as to, or a question, I guess. I believe there was only one bid on this. I was just kind of curious. There was like several places that were offered that I didn't know why there was only one bid.
Deputy Moten or Ms. Williams?
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent, staff, and community. So you are correct. We did get one proposal, 5 vendors. 4 were no bids. There were a variety of reasons provided. Some were timing, some were transition and lead time. And some were no reasons at all. So we did read those when we opened the bids into the record, but we did get one proposal as we stated, and we feel very confident in that proposal.
And I think, Mr. Moten, that was just a slight increase over the past. I mean, it was an increase each year, I think, but a small increase each of those years, 3 years. Is that right? It was a pretty good bid, and it was just a slight increase each one of those 3 years?
Yes, and unfortunately I don't have my documents in front of me, but we did see some fluctuations in the increase based on the fact that our bus drivers are union. There are some increases in labor. And again, this is a projection based on certain routes. Once the school year starts, we modify routes, at least the number of routes, and we can make some potential reductions, but this is based on projections for next year. The actual value may be modified from this,
Right.
lower.
We've been pretty happy with Central as well, with Illinois Central. We've been
Yes.
happy with their service
Yes,
in
sir.
the past? Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr. McBride.
Just going backwards a little bit, dealing with since we're speaking about transportation. I brought up at the last meeting that Safeway, I thought we need to be looking into that
Yes.
particular contract, because it just don't sit right with me, because I guess the knowledge that I have about Safeway, and they're picking up our kids, sometimes I think that we're paying when we shouldn't be paying. So I think that we need to look at that.
Thank you for that, Mr. McBride, and for that reminder. I will say, as I'm hoping with their increases, that they're able to make sure that they keep up with the staffing needs and requirements in order to be able to service the contract.
Okay.
Oh, not Safeway. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Illinois Central. I want to make sure. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, we want to make sure that they are. So Illinois Central School Bus is what we're referencing, and I want to make sure, is I know we talked about a school bus driver shortage. Illinois Central did make adjustments, right, and they kept up. I just want to make sure that we make sure that that's a priority going into next year. So with that, a roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Item approved, motion carries. Item C, approval of branching Mines district-wide MTSS platform.
Mr. President, I still didn't get my question addressed, and I think someone was getting ready to come to the podium to talk about that, and you kind of just passed it up and didn't give him the opportunity to, because I think...
I didn't see anybody coming. I know you said you wanted to report on it. We weren't talking about Safeway, so I want them to bring your information back. This was referenced.
I don't know if I don't know, Alicia?
Ms. Williams?
Well, we voted on the consent agenda. 11B was Safeway.
Oh, the Safeway one. I'm sorry.
That was 11B.
Yeah.
That was the consent agenda for operations.
Good evening, Board President.
Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Members of the board. I have Mr. Dupree here, and last time I spoke about Safeway, I mentioned how we are going through the audit process to see if our students, the list that we have of students, do qualify for homeless service. So our Safeway is for our outreach in our special education department. So Mr. Dupuy he's doing the audit of his department to see if students still qualify. And in addition to that, we are looking at our billing system to make sure they don't overbill us.
Yeah. Good evening. So essentially we are doing an internal audit and just combing through and looking at who we currently have who are eligible for McKinney-Vento services, and part of that, those services, we're finding some students that, and some families that have confirmed that they don't no longer need the services we're providing for them. And so when we're done, you'll be getting a report from us regarding who's currently eligible, who's up for eligibility next year, and just where we're at overall with McKinney-Vento. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So we were at item 12C, which approval of Branching Minds district-wide MTSS platform.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education authorize the superintendent and her designee to approve Branching Minds district-wide MTSS platform in the amount of $369,935.24.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riddle. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Board President, this is actually a system that pulls all of our other systems together. Is that correct? And it's something that we feel is going to be worthwhile, and it's going to. I don't know, just from reading about it, it looks like it's a good system, but just want to make sure it's.
It is an MTSS database, and Mr.
Yes.
Kinsick.
Good evening. Yes, the Branching Minds will pull everything together for us, all our assessment, SEL, attendance, ODR. It will pull everything for a teacher to look at a building level, at outreach. Every department will find Branching Minds useful. And in the presentation, you'll see how each department has outlined how they're going to use Branching Minds in their department. So we're super excited.
Right. So this is a new system, and it will.
Correct.
Teachers will be taught eventually
Oh,
on
yes.
how it will all work, and
Yes.
and just be able to get it looked like they could get a snapshot of a particular student, everything about them academically as well as socially and emotional needs, and
correct
gives them a really good. And this is something that's used, I presume, in other districts.
So yes, CPS uses it. Round Lake actually just adopted it this spring. And we actually met with Evanston School District because they're a district that has been using it for the last 5 years. So a bunch of my team and people from ASAP met with Evanston School District and their district leadership team, and we talked through some of the kinks that they had at the beginning when they first rolled it out, how they're doing with it now 5 years later, so we can learn and not make the same mistakes.
Okay. Well, sounds great. I just wondered, if it's, as good as it looks like on paper. It is. It sounds like you've researched it a lot, so
We
terrific.
did. And it's going to be a very slow rollout. And the contract is for over 3 years so that we can do it slow. So that elementaries and middle schools will get it first, and our high schools will get it in the second phase. So we do want to do it very, very slowly. In the slide deck, there is a PD plan where it really does start with the MTSS team, building leadership. You are building MTSS teams and then the teachers. So we truly want to create that building-based MTSS team, make sure it's most effective. They know how to use the system for support teachers.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your information on that.
Thank you.
My only statement is similar to Mr. Riddle's. It's not the what, it's the how. So I think in researching this, does seem like a really good program that will allow our systems to talk and give valuable information. We're expending the funds. I do expect us to be able to make sure that the staff members know how to access the information and use it. So I see the BD plan. I know we talked about a slow rollout, but I also want to make sure that we spend a lot of time engaging with it. And then my only caution, superintendent, is our principals and our staff. There are tons of different PD. We know that there was just a proposal to make sure everybody goes through de-escalation training. We know that there are other initiatives. And so when we stack these initiatives, I fear that we may not be, again, I work and I know what that's like when you have multiple different things and initiatives going on at once. So keep that in consideration as we are bringing on new platforms and tools and systems when we continue to hear that maybe we're not accessing and using all of the systems that we currently have. So I do support this initiative, but I wanted to say that for the record. There are no further comments or questions. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Item approved, motion carries. We are now at personnel items. We got item 13A, personnel for 5/25/23.
It is a recommendation that the Board of Education accept the administration's recommendation to approve the appointments, retirements, and accept the resignations as found on schedules F1000, L947, and G658 with the exception of the first name.
Motion to approve
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
as read by the superintendent with that one exception.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? I do at some point, Superintendent, I want two statements. Actually, let's, there was a question that was raised related to pay. I'm not going to raise that today, but I think that again goes into the assessment. I know that we were looking at managers as well as directors and other levels. That was a request from the board. I know we want to have that conversation with the incoming board, but I do want to make sure that that is not falling. I believe there is a rationale. We talked about communication. I got chastised a couple weeks ago for how we handle these personnel things and talking about them in public versus not. So what I'm asking is that, one, we can provide that explanation to Mr. Sabecki because he raised the question. And then I do want to also remind the administration and the community that the ask was that we evaluate the salary for those remaining non-union positions. And that was a request from Ms. Hannah as well as myself. With that, if there are no further questions, roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Kellyanne Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. All right, we have 3 administrative appointments. Excited to announce, so go ahead, Superintendent.
At this time, I'd like to announce Ms. Rosalind Harrison, who previously served as the Executive Assistant. She will now serve as the manager of pre-K with a starting salary of $78,000. Congratulations, Ms. Harrison, better known as Roz.
Yahoo.
Our next appointment will be, and I'm hoping I do not mispronounce your name, Eridania Soler, who previously was a teacher at Little Fort. Well, she still is a teacher at Little Fort. She will now serve as the manager of FACE with a starting salary of $78,000. Congratulations, Ms. Soler. Our next appointment will be Miss Quinn Norman, who previously served as an instructional coach at North Elementary. I got to see her do some amazing work there. She will now serve as the manager of FACE with a starting salary of $78,000. Congratulations, Miss Quinn.
All right. Welcome and thank you to all of those individuals as well as retirements. Next up is item 13B, Superintendent Contract 13 Amendment.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the 13th Amendment to the Superintendent Contract memorializing her satisfactory or better performance for the 2022-2023 school year.
Mr. Riddle, make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? Yeah, this is just a memorialization of the superintendent's evaluation. There are no other changes to the contract. With that, roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak.
Yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We are now at item C, approval of assistant principal benefits recommendation.
It is the recommendation that the Board of Education authorize the superintendent to increase the TRS markup and healthcare contributions to director level entitlements for all assistant principals. The total impact estimate is $194,592.74.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? Again, I think we discussed it, and hope that this is something that will keep our assistant principals, which are a pipeline to our principalships. So with that, I would like a roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. Item D, attendance at 2023 National School Public Relations Association National Seminar.
It is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the attendance of Nicholas Alazakis, Gerardo Gordillo, and Mitchell Ripotella to attend the 2023 National School Public Relations Association National Seminar in St. Louis, Missouri from July 16 to July 19th at an estimated cost of $2,517 per person for a total cost of $7,551. Costs include seminar registration, lodging, per diem, and transportation.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? I do want to say, again, we have an award-winning public relations team, and so excited for them to continue their development. So I definitely will be supporting this initiative. Roll call.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, item approved, motion carries. We're now at 16A, ratification of second processing of April 2023 board bills, manual check request payments, Old National Bank insurance payments for the period of April 5th, 2023 through April 18th, 2023.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education ratify the second processing of board bills for April 2023 and manual check request payments and Old National Bank insurance payment for the period of April 5th, 2023 through April 18th, 2023. The accounts payable board April 5th, 2023 through April 18th, 2023. Payments total $4,005,718.27. The manual check request payments for the period of April 5th, 2023 through April 18th, 2023 total $409,541.52. The Old National Bank insurance payments for the period of April 5th, 2023 through April 18th, 2023 total $0.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Due to time as well as the incoming board, we've asked all reports and presentations to be held over. We do have a meeting next Tuesday. And then we have, committee assignments, delegates reports, other information that we'll be starting to put together. Under new business, item 20A, we are holding that item over for continued conversation. Item 20B is conditional use fence and planting variance application for Yeoman Creek Solar Site.
It is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the conditional use application form and fence and planting variance application forms as presented by the developer and authorize the superintendent to sign the applications.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wozniak. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Only glad to see that this is finally starting to move. It's been in the planning stages for so long. We need a solar field in Waukegan, so I'm glad to see it's moving.
Yeah, I want to see it come to fruition.
I do too.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes. Item approved, motion carries. Ms. Vanderbroek, are there any legal reports? All right, then to the community, I'm going to start board member time, and then the board is going to go back into closed session to finish work that needs to be done. We will be adjourning. No further action will be taking, so we'll be adjourning after our meeting, and that will be Ms. Wozniak. We are still a question on if she needs to physically be present tomorrow, but we definitely want to again say thank you. So with that, I will turn it over to you for first comments for board member time.
I'm hoping that the school district will continue the Independence Parade picnic on the lawn in my honor for the next year, because it was always something I really loved, and it was an initiative I brought because I think we need to celebrate Waukegan. And I did enjoy my time at Art Impact doing the mask project with the kids. I learned a lot about our students, and very interesting. And if you get a chance to volunteer to do it, you should. And I hope we continue that next year as well.
Thank you, Ms. Wozniak. Go ahead with Mr. McBride.
Fast.
Mr. Riddle.
Just want to say goodbye and thank Ms. Wozniak so much for being a part of this board and this team, and for all that she's contributed to this district and our city, and just thank you very much.
Awesome. So with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into closed session on exception C1, specific personnel, C10, individual student matters, C21, collective bargaining negotiations, C11, legal matters, and C21, approval of previous closed session minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Wozniak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riddle. Roll call vote.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan Wozniak. Yes. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, and if board, we can meet downstairs in 5 minutes. We'll finish with the meeting.